is Mrs. Camp here, and today we're going to talk about how to diagram predicate nominatives. Another word for predicate nominatives is also predicate nouns, is what we're looking at today. So we're just adding on to what we already know. So we learned how to diagram subjects and verbs, and we learned how to diagram articles, and now we're going to move on to predicate nominatives or predicate nouns. So it says, a noun or pronoun that comes after a form of the verb be or become and repeats, identifies, or describes the subject is called the predicate nominative. So that's important information. So I'm just going to highlight that. Basically, anything in bold is something important that we need to look at. Basically, all that's saying is that when a noun or pronoun comes after be or become, which these are linking verbs, and it's identifying or repeating the subject, it's going to be a predicate nominative. And when we diagram a predicate nominative, this is also very important, it appears after a backslash. A backslash is just a line that goes like so, okay? So when we look at the example, he was an officer, he is our subject, was is a linking verb, and then officer is our predicate nominative. So it's a PN, I'm gonna label it. And then we know that AN and the will always be articles. So I'm just gonna label that art for short. If we look at the next sentence, the women have become doctors. Well, women is our subject, have become, that's going to be a linking verb. And then doctors is identifying who the women are. So doctors is our predicate noun. And then the comes before the noun women. And remember, when a word is modifying a noun, it's acting as an adjective. So we know that the is an article. You can also label it an adjective as well. That would be just fine. So now let's try some on our own. So in all of these examples, we're always going to have linking verbs as the verb or verb phrase. And it's very important. I would write this in your notes. This is also on your diagram flowchart. But whenever you have a linking verb, you're always going to have a backslash. Linking verbs equal a backslash. So let's take a look at some examples. Let's do the first four together. Well, I like to get my articles out of the way first because those can kind of sometimes be a little sneaky and we might miss them. So I'm going to look for a, an, and the. Whenever I see a, an, or the, I'm just going to label it an article. So we are neighbors. Nope, don't have any articles in this one. Number 2, the girls are becoming friends. The is an article. Number 3, Rembrandt was an artist. An is an article. I could be a lifeguard. A is an article. So now I have my articles out of the way. So now I'm ready to diagram. So if we look at the first one, we are neighbors. Well, who is this subject about? Well, it's about we. Are is going to be our linking verb. Neighbors is identifying who we are. So if it's a noun, which neighbors is, if it's a noun identifying who the subject is or giving more information about the subject, then we're going to label that predicate noun. So when we diagram this, we have we as our subject, are as our linking verb. Now remember, linking verbs are going to get a backslash if it has something coming after it, which in this case it does. In this case we have neighbors, it's our predicate noun. So predicate noun will always get a backslash. And there we go. Number 2, the girls are becoming friends. Who or what is this sentence about? Well, it's about the girls. Are becoming is our entire verb phrase. And again, these are going to be acting as linking verbs. And then friends is telling us or identifying who the girls are. So that would be our predicate noun. Also, we got to check to make sure it's a noun. Friends is a person or a group of people. So that would definitely be a noun. So when we diagram this, we have girls as our subject. are becoming is our verb phrase. Now remember, it's a linking verb, and so linking verbs get backslashes. So what word am I going to put here? Well, this is the word that's identifying who the subject is, or who the subjects are. So in this case, it would be friends. Number 3, Rembrandt was an artist. Well, who or what is this sentence about? It's about Rembrandt. Was is a linking verb. Another way to find if you're struggling, like, oh, I don't know if this is a linking verb or not, replace it with is or are. And if you can do that, then it's going to be a linking verb, because I could say Rembrandt is an artist, and that would still make sense. So was is definitely acting as a linking verb. Well, then I'm just left with this word artist. Artist comes after a linking verb, and artist is identifying who Rembrandt is. So therefore, artist is my predicate noun. Rembrandt is my subject. Was is my linking verb, so it's followed by a backslash. And then artist is my predicate noun. Then I'm just left with my article an. An comes before the noun artist, so when I diagram it, it goes on a diagonal line underneath it. And if I look up here, I forgot my article to diagram on number 2. So I'm just going to add that in right now. The comes before the noun girls, therefore it's modifying it. So when I diagram it, it goes on a diagonal line underneath. All right, now let's just look at number 4. I could be a lifeguard. So who or what is this sentence about? It's about I. Could be is my entire verb phrase that's going to be acting as linking verbs. Lifeguard is a noun that is identifying my subject. So that would be a predicate noun. And it also follows a linking verb, so I know that. These are just kind of the basic rules to follow. So when I diagram this, I have I as my subject. Could be is my verb phrase. Well, could be is acting as a linking verb. So then we need a backslash. And then lifeguard identifies who I am. So then I put it after the backslash. Then I'm just left with my article a. A comes before the noun lifeguard, so it's modifying it. So when I diagram it, it just goes on the line right underneath. Oops, sorry, you can't see that. And there you go. So now what I would like you to do is go ahead and try the rest on your own. And make sure that you know that for this case, it won't always be the case, but for these sentences, all of these verbs are going to be linking verbs, and each one will have a predicate noun. So just so that you're aware that most of your sentences will look something like this. And that's the basics of diagramming predicate nominatives or predicate nouns. Make sure that you're looking to your blue or green diagramming sheets to help you out. And if you have any questions, make sure that you ask.